They had the bones of the Nephilim on display, so it's an absolute 100% real thing. Before I show you where, understand that the Nephilim themselves, they were giants. They were the offspring of fallen angels, angels that fell and slept with human women. We see it happening before and after the flood. After the flood, you remember Goliath, Og, and they continued to wage war against the sons of men. See, because God created sex for human beings, but fallen angels, they rebelled and they went down and they had intercourse with human women by taking on, and it's believed by some of the early, taking on human form, because of course angels can shapeshift. Take a look at these writings right here. You take a look in Jewish history, it notates that the bones of the Nephilim were on display around the time of Jesus, for which reason they removed their camp to Hebron. And when they had taken it, they slew all the inhabitants. There were till then left the race of what? Giants, who had bodies so large and countenances so entirely different from other men that they were surprising to the sight and terrible to the hearing. The bones of these men are still shown to this very day, unlike to any credible relations of other men. Back around this time, bones of the Nephilim were on display. Jesus, of course, would have known about it, so would have others during that time. Nephilim are an example of a group that defied God, produced them. In fact, I would argue that the Nephilim here of Scripture would be what people call demigods, because if you take a look in Greek and Roman mythology, demigods were half man, half God. We know those are false gods. The Bible tells us that they were half man, half angel. Follow if you like content as such. Tomorrow's the deadline. Both my wife and I are teaching a detailed class where we're teaching on why God created sex, his true purpose for it, unlocking the deeper truths of God's purpose for sex, marriage, and worship in alignment with his word. Because sex inside of marriage in the form of intimacy reflects worship to God that we do in the form of intimacy. It's one of the highest points of worship and spirituality here on the earth and in a married, when people are married, which it's supposed to be then. But outside of marriage, the enemy uses it for witchcraft. We're going to be going over that and a lot more. This is one of the deepest detailed classes that we've ever taught. If you want in and to be added to the email list for when it's sent out tomorrow in the next 3 days, go to my profile page and click the Eventbrite link in my bio, or my YouTube page and the Eventbrite link in my bio. And remember, it's pre-recorded, so you can watch anytime you want.